Hi, friends.
Oh my god.
It's been recording, it's fine.
Okay.
I have a special guest. I know, being in front of a camera is hard if you've never done it.
Okay.
This is Shelby. I met her at a beach.
True story.
And now she lives with me. So.
Basically. Best friend story ever.
That's about it. That's all I have to tell you. So, she's staying here for a couple nights just for fun, just for giggles. And she asked me to teach her how to do makeup. So I said, hey, I didn't film this week, so we should just film it so that I can double dip, you know? So she has her whole makeup bag on the table. I have my makeup, and I'm gonna talk her through what I do. Not saying this is the right way, it's just what I do.
Right.
So if you don't like it, that's
probably better than what I'm doing.
You look beautiful all the time.
Such a good friend.
Okay, you should subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. You should hit the bell. Also, like
What's the bell?
It gives them a notification every time I post. Essentially just an email, and no one sees it, but it's fine.
Well, she's hot, guys. Come on.
And like and comment on this video if you enjoyed this. I also wouldn't mind doing your makeup on camera someday.
Yeah.
Because that would be fun. But for now, we've got this going on.
We're getting it rocking and rolling.
We sure are. Let's get started.
Not starting with this.
No. This is bronzer?
Bronzer.
Bronzer
I
and
do
blush.
know the names. Bronzer, blush. Bronzer, blush. Highlighter.
Very
Look at
proud
that.
of you. So tell me where you got all this makeup from?
Okay, so my family has that subscription box. What's it?
BoxyCharm,
Bitsy?
I think.
Oh, yeah.
Ipsy? Ipsy's different.
Oh, and
BoxyCharm. It's
yeah.
a box.
So then they give me all the stuff they don't want. And that's my collection.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yep. I mean, you have an Anastasia palette and a Tarte palette.
And what does that say?
Park Avenue Princess.
That's
Also
what
a
I was
Color
gonna
Pop
say.
palette, I think.
Yeah, look at that guy. Ooh, see, I did some glit the other day.
Yeah, you really dug in there. What did you do to this thing?
I really wanted some glitter, you know, make my eyes pop.
This used to be a whole pan.
And it's supposed to be white, but the
Yeah,
other
how'd
stuff,
you did one of these break into it?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. But if you just dig under, you can.
That's why there's a hole. It's fine.
You can still get the glitter.
And then a MAC palette. She also has MAC powders. This girl, a Kylie
Ooh.
loose highlighter. This is dangerous.
Okay,
That
yes.
will spill everywhere.
I held this and dropped it all over my counter, and it was quite the experience.
Oh my, that's also probably too dark for you. Anyways, let's start with something, okay? So I typically start by priming my skin.
Right. I got a spray prime. What you got?
Luckily for you, I came prepared.
Let's go drop that.
So I always do a hydrating primer to start because my skin is dry. I don't know what your skin type is. Do you consider dry? Just in that one spot. Do you get dry patches on your skin? Would you consider normal,
Yeah,
oily?
I'm dry here.
Okay, so you do have somewhat dry skin.
So I take this.
Yep, I would pump it onto your hands.
How much did you pump?
I did 2, but you probably only need 1.
I did.
Oh, a whole pump. It's for your entire face. There you go. Okay. She's very, very nervous. And then you just rub it all over your face. And it feels great. Then this is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty. It essentially is just a pore filling primer. So,
Putty?
yeah, it feels like silly putty almost. So you put it on your face and just like rub it into your pores.
What are you looking at? Oh, you got a mirror. I'm like,
Yeah, I should give you the other one so at least you have something to look at yourself
I
with.
think I'm doing this right.
Yeah, you're doing great.
And you just rub her on in.
Yep.
How was your day today?
It was delightful. Shelby's the best human in the entire world. Today's Sunday,
Tell me
and stop, but don't. She watched my child for me so I could go do my own thing for a whole day. Couldn't tell you the last time I did that. It was the freaking best.
Well, let me tell ya, I got my toes painted by a 5-year-old.
Didn't you get your fingers painted, or was just the nail polish remover the trash can from your toes? So then, because I like glowy skin, do you prefer glowy, matte? What do you think?
I don't even know. I have Dewey & Smith.
Okay, great. You're dewy and smooth.
Brought to you by your local CVS.
That's not from BoxyCharm.
Yeah, this one's not because I ran out of my BoxyCharm.
So this actually isn't even foundation yet. I'm not even there yet. I adore you for trying. It looks like foundation because it's a highlighter, kind of like base product. But I put it
contour before or after?
I put this on my face, like all over, and then I put my foundation on. It makes me look extra glowy. So you don't have to squirt it directly onto your face, but I do because I feel like it. You could also squirt it on your hand and put it on.
Glowy Lust, dewy and smooth. Can't wait.
So yeah, just like a little bit on your cheeks.
I'm stressed.
It's okay. She's very, very, very cautious with the pump. Okay, you just kind of,
this is a contour brush.
Blend it out on your skin. I'm just rubbing it. So from my cheekbone down to like my jawline. And then I even go up a little bit onto my temples.
Look at this.
I did give you a mirror just in case you
I just wanted to look at it already.
I mean, I like to stare at myself too, but it is easier to see if you're up close.
It is so much easier.
Then you can take your sponge that I washed for you. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Because I have 700 of them, and then I just kind of blend it in a little better.
Do you like the sponge situation?
Yeah, I hate brushes, but that's just because I don't like the way that, I honestly don't like the way makeup feels on my skin.
Yeah.
And I feel like with a brush, it doesn't like mesh it, nor does it pick up any excess. So at least the sponge will take some of it away if I'm not in love with how like thick it feels. Oh. One break. Yeah. So now we're ready for foundation.
Oh, now we're here.
Yeah. Okay. So yours is probably equally as messy as mine is. Just put it on the back of my hand. I normally mix, it's my L'Oreal Pro Glow Per Use. I normally mix it with a different shade, but I only grabbed one. So this is gonna be too dark for me, but that's fine.
This is my Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Normal to Dry shade 115 Ivory.
So proud of you. You're like a real influencer.
I am. Now what are you doing?
So I dab this on my face.
Nice.
And then I blend it in with the sponge.
Post here.
Dab. So then you have excess. I tend to blend my makeup with the flat end of my sponge. And I take the excess up on my sponge, and then I start blending, starting on my cheek.
What does blending mean? Pat, pat, pat?
Oh, sorry, yes. You start patting it around.
Pat, pat, pat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I always start on my cheek because I want the most pigment there. And then if I move outward after that, that's fine, because as long as my cheeks are covered, because that's where most of my problem areas are, and we're good. And I look so tan because this is not my shade. This is why I mix. I'll just blend that onto my ears real quick, just to really forget that they aren't the right color.
Get all the shades. That was like, okay, seriously, in middle school, it was cool to be like orange, you know?
Yeah, Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse. Anybody else?
Dude, loved that stuff. I literally got orange and put it all over my face and left a nice clean line.
Yeah.
So you like turn and I'm like a carrot up top and a snowman down below.
Right. But so now as an adult, you can still be orange as long as you just like blend it down here and make people think that's just what your skin looks like, which is what I'm doing right now.
And then just don't take pictures with your hands in them.
I mean, my hands are never gonna be the same color as my face. They don't tan the same, you know?
Yeah. Okay guys, I have really big commitment issues. So I got a septum piercing to be like Caitlyn, you know? But it's not real. Okay, but also I'm scared if I like sneeze really hard or breathe in really heavy, is the magnet gonna come off and I'm gonna have to go to the hospital?
I highly doubt that.
I would shit my pants.
Well, if you're sneezing, it's blowing out, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know if you're ever gonna do that hard enough to take apart magnets. Sorry, hello.
This is a lot lighter than my little brush situation.
So brushes are great for some people. I just don't like them. The only difference between a brush and a sponge is you're gonna get more coverage with a brush.
Someone stole my brush.
Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it still in your bag? Did you not bring it?
It's right here. In my lovely makeup bag.
Oh, there she is. It's an elf brush.
See,
I have one of those, I think.
She's trying.
She's doing her absolute best. Have you ever washed your brush?
No.
Just asking for a friend. If you're ever
Because I
wondering,
just use the same goer.
right, your face has bacteria on it and stuff. So then you're like, yeah, yep, that's great. You should wash them. If for any reason
Clorox?
you notice, no.
Dish.
Would you put dish soap on your face? If the answer is no, then don't wash your makeup brush with it.
Use my face wash?
The dog is here.
You can just tell me. I'll stop guessing.
So I use Johnson's baby soap on my brushes, and that's how I wash them.
Oh, the dogs are here.
I do have a whole video on how I wash my brushes if you ever wanted to go back and watch it.
What was it? Glowy sex?
What?
That's what it's called.
Glow lust?
Glowy lust.
Concealer time. So she doesn't have, she has this concealer. I don't trust that it's gonna go well. My CoverGirl concealer is the best concealer ever. I'm gonna put it on my under eyes real quick, and then I'm gonna let her use it and put it under her under eyes in the same place. No, it's from the drugstore. That one's not quite your color.
Phenomenal.
I just bought this new one today because I needed my color back. So I have darker circles, so I put a little bit right here.
Okay.
And then I also put a little bit here. Which lifts my eye up. I'm gonna start blending before it dries too much. It is nice to let it set for a second, just to like let it deposit some of the pigment. So otherwise you might not get as much coverage, but this is my concealer I use every day. CoverGirl is also cruelty free.
And you went into your eyeball?
Yep, so I take the point of the sponge and I go way up into
So now
here.
we're on this guy.
Yep.
Little booby guy.
Yep, little nipple, if you will.
Love
Love the nipples. And then you just get up in the corner, you blend that out, and then you go out and up. And then I do take whatever is left over on my sponge and kind of pat it onto my cheeks. So then I put concealer on my chin, the center of my nose, and my forehead to brighten my face, the center of my face, like where the sun would typically hit your face.
Okay.
And then I also dab it on any spots that I have like major little pimples going on.
And now we're on the tit side still.
Yep, I keep using titties the whole time. So because of my face, I emote with my forehead a lot, so I get a lot of forehead lines.
You
and
emote?
Then emote with my,
Like emotions.
yes. Like when I'm excited or if I'm like, like I move my forehead a lot and my eyebrows. And I also get smile lines from smiling. So I tend to set those. So I tend to set those with powder so they don't crease, because if you have foundation on, they're gonna like seep into those creases and be really noticeable.
I see.
So I typically pat out with the same foundation side on all those areas. And then I take some powder on my sponge, work it in with the back of my hand. That wasn't enough. And then I push it into my lines.
Oh, fancy schmancy.
So this is a Tarte contour palette, which is real cool. So these two shades here would be like under eye brighteners. You could use these as a setting powder instead of this under your eyes. Then you have a bunch of bronzers here. These two look like they're a little bit shimmery. This tone here, super cool tone, so that's called a contour. So, and then this is a bronzer because it's warmer.
Oh,
So the contour is to create shadows on your face,
I see.
like a natural shadow, and then a bronzer is to warm your skin up. Not gonna lie to you, I just use bronzer and put it in the same places as contour unless I'm like going hard and trying to contour.
We're gonna go hard next weekend.
2 weekends from now.
Oh, fuck.
Because you're not here next weekend.
Oh, fuck. Well, yeah, what are you gonna do without me?
Cry. I would too. So we take our big old bronzer brush, we dip it into our bronzer. You can dip between the two, you can do just one, it doesn't really matter. Okay.
How much did you dip?
A lot, but then I do this. And it flings off all the extra powder so you don't have like a ton. So then technically if you,
Smell this.
I know it smells good. Tarte always smells good. I have a palette of theirs. It smells like chocolate almost. This smells like pina coladas.
Yeah.
So with bronzer, you have to think of like where the shadows would normally go on your face. So like if you, see you have a cheekbone right here, you want to accentuate that by adding darker shades there to make your face look thinner or more chiseled, if you will. But you don't want to go too low. So wherever your cheekbone is, like I can see mine right here, I would start just above that so I'm not bronzing below that line, because then it's not going to help
Do it
me.
on this side first so I can see.
Okay, so my cheekbone, I can see the shadow when I'm staring straight ahead. So I put my bronzer brush right above it and I don't go any lower. I only
Are
bronze.
you circling or up and down?
I'm doing this, and then you can do circles, but I feel like it's harder to control. So I just go up and down along my cheekbone.
Oh fuck.
Okay. So if you're nervous, you can start more near your like temple area, like here. Yeah. You can just dab it. Yeah. Swipe it.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
It's not. Is this a lot happening right now?
No, you look great.
Ooh, okay, some more.
So the other thing you can do, and this is kind of how I do it, just without the very dramatic, there's like a 3 and an E. So technically down the side of your forehead to your cheekbone and then down to your chin. Create like a 3 or an E shape.
I see. Oh god.
So you're trying to just add some shadows to the outer edges of your face, so that way the front of your face that you've highlighted with concealer is going to come forward, and then the sides of your face are going to retreat, because that's just how the eye works when it comes to depth.
There's a lot of science to this.
There actually kind of is. And then another thing that I learned from a makeup artist recently is technically to make your neck, like, to make you look like your face is more pulled forward and therefore thinner, so you don't have like the double chin. If you bronze right down the center of your neck, it creates that illusion more. This is a Makeup by Mario hack. Just bronze down there. And then I always bronze my jawline because it makes my face look thinner and it disguises that double chin.
I feel like I'm actually learning a lot. This is really great.
Aww.
How cute.
So to bronze the sides of my nose, because I like to make my nose look thinner, I take my big brush, dip it in, and then I just pinch it.
Big brush, dip it in. Pinch.
Now it's like a straight line. And I go down the sides of my nose, just like this. And then I do the other side. And then I also go under my lower lip. Makes your lips look bigger. And that's
This is a lot of
bronzer.
work, guys.
This is
At least I know what I'm doing now.
how I always do my makeup. You don't have to do all this all the time. Like you could only use concealer instead of foundation, just to cover up your under eyes and like any problem areas. You could only do quick bronzer on just like your cheeks, throw it on. Also, the more you do it, it's way faster.
Right, so I'm really focused.
Right. And then like you could always take, and this is like a really good hack, take your bronzer brush. I mean, we're not going to do it because I'm going to teach you eyeshadow, and you can just like rub it in your eye area and it adds some color to your eyelid without you actually trying.
Dip on in there.
And then, so the way I like to blush is to add to my contour. So you can blush like the apples of your cheeks, but that's going to make your face look rounder.
I don't want that.
Focus. So I blush in the same area as my contour, just slightly above.
Just slightly, okay.
So like right here would be where I would put your blush. And that's that on that.
Ooh.
And I don't use highlighter because I don't like it. The only reason, like that's why I put this underneath to start. Then I don't have to highlight later, and I also used a glowy blush, so it adds more glow to my skin.
What if I liked highlighter?
Then you can put it on.
I don't even know how to put it on.
I don't love this brush for it, but it's the best that we got.
Okay.
So you're gonna,
what you got.
and then on the very tips of your cheekbones, like just right above where you put the blush, you're gonna do the same like angled motion.
I don't think nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't think anything happened. Ooh, this is glittery. Okay, so if you ever do makeup and you're like, whoa, that was too much. What you can do.
Whoa, y'all, that really fucking works.
So you take your sponge with your foundation side and you just kind of, because there will still be foundation and or powder on it, you can blend over it and kind of tone it down. I mean, highlighter is highlighter. Like you're gonna kind of live with what you
It looks
got.
like I was about to go to a rave. Cool,
The
done.
other places you can highlight are the tip of your nose, and then also where I put the liquid highlighter, your Cupid's bow, it adds, when you have lipstick on, it makes your lips look fuller as well. I tried to pick a palette that was similar to what Shelby has. She has a MAC palette that is well loved. You've used a lot of that.
I've had this since high school.
And then this is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. So the tones seem similar enough because hers is a little bit more cool toned, which is why I grabbed this bad boy.
Ooh, look at this bad boy. Look at those.
Yeah, they are falling apart. They're going through some shit.
They've been well loved.
Yes.
Actually not. I have not used it very often.
For lack of a better option, we're gonna go with this. So this is like a blender brush. So here's the difference between yours and mine. So you can see the length and like the quantity of hairs. Also yours is more dense and mine's more like flimsy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna blend the product out a little bit softer.
Okay.
Whereas this could be a little bit more harsh, so I'd use a little less product in this one. So
Less product.
take like a light shade, say this one right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take this shade because they're similar. So then if you feel in your eye, take your pinky and feel for the top of your eyeball.
Right there.
Okay, so your crease
What?
is that area. So that's where you wanna put the lightest shade. So you take your brush, you put it right at that line where you just touch the top of your eyeball. And you blend in that motion to follow the shape of your eyeball.
Okay.
You should be able to feel it with your brush, like that location.
You should go back and forth.
Yeah, so it's called what I like to call windshield wiper motions.
Windshield
And then you can
wiper.
also do circular motions if you want to as well.
That's too-
It just helps some of the blending sometimes to do a couple different motions. But I also sometimes will take my crease brush, which is what this is, and I will add it to the outer third of my eye.
This has some glitter left on it from last time I used it.
I did just notice that, but we've committed. The trouble
Like,
of
ooh, some
having
glitter.
no brushes. Because meanwhile,
And I have 5.
she has 5 total. So I'm doing my best with what we got here. I figured teaching her how to use her own makeup was going to be more effective than just being like, here's all my stuff that you can play with. Because like when you're home, you don't have my
Right.
things. So this seemed like the most effective way to learn the products that we have.
All right. And this is another thing I need to wash. What is that?
Part of the plastic that goes on the bottle.
Of what?
The wine bottle.
Shit.
I just pulled that out of my mouth.
It's fine.
I didn't swallow it, so it's fine. So essentially when you do your eyeshadow, you start with the lightest shade and work your way to the darkest. So then you would
Okay.
take like a medium tone. So I'd say that one right there.
Okay.
And you don't have a smaller brush. Yeah, this one's not a great option. So just use the same one, just be a little bit more careful with the placement. I'm gonna take a very similar shade on a very dirty brush. And then, so I start on the outer edge of my lid here.
Okay.
Okay. The only thing with your hooded eye is in order for you to be able to see this shade, you're
My-
gonna wanna bring it up, not just on your lid, but also a little bit up here.
Okay.
So when your eyes open, you can still see it. When it comes to eyeshadow, wherever you deposit the brush first, like I touch the brush to this part of my eye first, that's gonna be the darkest area. So you wanna not necessarily put it, like if you were putting your crease shade and you touched your brow bone first, you'd be like, oh shoot, like that's way too dark up there, and then it'll be harder to blend. So you put the shade or the brush down where you want the most pigment and then blend it out from there. And then I typically go back in with my original brush, which you use the same brush. So you can always wipe it off on something and then go back in and blend the edges. I think what's important to remember if you ever decide to get a dog is no matter what you eat, it will have its hair in it. And if you don't want to swallow dog hair, don't have a dog.
100,000%.
Because every single time I make a meal, no matter how hard I try, even if I pull a dish out of the dishwasher, freshly cleaned, and immediately look down, it has dog hairs on it.
Yep.
Every time. All right, so next we can do a fun shimmery eyeshadow on our lids. So I always take it on my finger. So I take my ring finger actually. So random fun fact, the ring finger on your hand is the most gentle pressure of all your fingertips. So if you're putting it on your face,
Why
it's,
isn't it your pinky? Oh, because I used less control.
I just think it's probably based off of like torque and
Oh, I
things,
see, I
like
see.
physics wise. So if you're ever doing things on your face, like tapping out your under eye with your finger, trying to like get concealer to not crease, or putting stuff on your lid, use your ring finger
Okay.
because it's less harsh, and therefore like because your eye skin is so sensitive and delicate, gotta be careful with it. So I'm gonna try to take a similar shade. I'm gonna take this one here.
You
So you
just-
put it, your dominant hand, your right hand, right? I would use your dominant hand, not your non-dominant hand. Just highly
Just
recommend.
wanted a challenge myself.
God damn it,
Bless you guys.
this battery is on low too.
Dude, what the fuck? And speed makeup!
So then you take your finger with your shimmer and you start on your inner corner here that has no product.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you tap it, you just pat it on. You're not like swiping, you're not going nuts. And then you just tap it to about the center and a little over the deeper shade you put on. So maybe 3/4 of your eyelid will have this shimmer on it. A little bit of fallout, to be expected with Anastasia shadows. You can also use a brush. So this, you don't have to use a brush. I actually like using, stop panicking. I like using my finger more because it makes the metallics more shiny. And if you use a brush, it doesn't do as well.
You can see how
But
shiny that is?
It's very shiny. So the other thing with hooded eyes is, so to get more of it, you need to kind of put it above your lid line. So we're gonna blend it up into your crease a little bit. Okay, and then you take your brush and you blend on top of that. So you're blending the edges and diffusing it so it doesn't look like you just slapped a harsh shimmer shade on your lids.
If you're using Anastasia, be gentle with their little shimmy shims.
Anastasia is pretty well known for fallout, which is what that's called, when shadow goes all over your face when you're putting it on your eyelid. The reason that is because it depends on how it's packed into the pan. So more fallout just means more pigment. Whereas if there's no fallout, it's pretty likely that your pigment will be less. So it's like, what would you rather have?
I see.
All right, you're then gonna take, quickly, you can just take your lightest shade that you used on your blending brush. You're gonna go under your eye. Oh God. And I don't think you've ever done this.
Nope.
And I just hit my face with my brush. Can we just acknowledge this for a second?
It's okay, it's a dimple.
So you look up to the sky essentially, or in your mirror. I look like this, and you have to do the weird like mascara face, just because it helps.
Right.
And you go right underneath your lash line, and you blend it around just like you did on your crease, like all the way to the inner corner. And then you can even connect it to your outer corner a little bit so that it blends in with your upper lash line, like right through here. I'm not trying to like hurt you, but I'm trying to show you, you know? All right, so those are your eyes. And then the other thing you can do is take a light shimmer shade or your highlighter, and you can put it on the inner corner of your eyes, and it will brighten up. Little bright inner corner. Then you add mascara, do eyebrows, and then we'll talk about lips. Because eyebrows, you do powder, I don't, but that's what you have, so that makes sense. Yes. So we'll BRB. We're getting there, people. I'm just gonna keep drinking this even though there is plastic in it.
I'm sure it's fine.
Do you wanna make your... You feeling yourself?
Practicing my seduction technique.
Do you wanna make your lips look bigger? Do you like the shape of them now? Like, what is your goal?
I think I like the shape of them.
Okay. So you're gonna take your lip liner and just go follow the line of your lips.
Oh, it's too tickly.
So if you didn't like the shape of your lips, aka me, I overline a little bit to make them look a little bigger. So you just go just barely outside your lip line, like barely, so it's not crazy. And then it makes your lips appear larger. And you can also sometimes change the shape. So like of my upper lip, my two sides are kind of asymmetrical, so I try to make them more symmetrical with the lip liner. And then
I went way under my lip line down here.
it's okay, it makes you look like you got big juicy lips. So if you're gonna put on like a full lipstick, I don't always fill in, but sometimes I just take my lip liner and I fill in my whole lips, and you can use it as lipstick. So you can just rub it all on over there.
Ooh.
No, always. So then I take my lip gloss. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in Moon. It's my favorite. Smells nice.
It does. Dude, your lips look so hot.
Thank you.
I like them. You know that trend on TikTok? You're like, kiss your best friend.
Nope. It's not a thing. You had me there in the first half.
It 100% is a trend.
It definitely isn't.
Yes, it is.
Maybe I'm just not on a lesbian TikTok. Do you ever think about that?
Hey, if you're gay and you're in Charlotte, hit me up. I'm very
If you're
sweet.
gay and you're not in Charlotte, but you're willing to visit.
Ooh, I know. Lesbians love to travel, so. Wait, I can't breathe because I got self-conscious about my breath stinking, and so I held my breath,
I'm really.
and then I couldn't breathe.
You could use your nose,
And I almost
you know?
passed out. I literally felt like I was underwater. I was like, I'm about to pass out.
You do, yeah, that's conveniently our body has developed two different ways to inhale. Our mouth and our nose.
Yeah.
You can always try that next time.
I don't think you can breathe with your mouth open. Okay.
Can you breathe with your mouth open? Because that's what you just said. I don't think you can breathe with your mouth open.
You can't do something with your mouth open. You can't swallow.
You can't sneeze with your eyes open either. Did you ever know that? Oh, no. Lippy gloss. Makes your lips look just kissable even. Fuck.
Come here, Teddy.
I didn't mean that. So that's all my lessons for today. We're about to go to sleep, so I'm asleep. We're about to be productive and do work things or school things. This is a setting spray, so this is what I was kind of referencing. You can set your face, it'll last longer.
I don't know if this actually works.
It says setting spray. I mean, I'm not sure.
It does smell like watermelon.
Setting
though.
mist.
I'll give them that.
They don't have an ingredient list on here, so I can't tell you. So the only problem with setting mist sometimes that they have a lot of alcohol in them, which will dry your skin out, which isn't really the goal.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, so this is my Caitlin's Beauty Lesson 101. And
You're a satisfied student.
what do you think?
I feel a whole new sense of confidence. No, really, I am gonna try this stuff though.
This is it. This was me teaching her how to do her makeup in real time, in real life. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. The button's down there. I also have Instagram and TikTok, which are
Follow her Instagram and TikTok. I
At
promote it
Kate-
every week.
at @CaitlinJulian_makeup. I just never remember when I edit, it's mirrored. So I think it's on this side. I don't know. Anyways, that's where it pops up. Instagram, I do a Makeup Monday every week where I just chill, which I'm gonna have to film tomorrow. Hope you don't mind me just like talking to a camera
No
while you're
worries.
sitting over on the couch. I gave up on my camera. Third battery was not the charm, and I'm done with it. So I'm gonna finish this outro here. Makeup Mondays on Instagram every week. I also do TikToks semi-consistently. I'm trying to do better. I have my little popsicle sticks now. We're gonna get that little Teddy. I am filming. I'm gonna do that little fun thing. I'll probably also post them on Instagram just for shits and gigs. And like and comment on this video if you enjoy. See you next Friday at 4 p.m. That is all. Also, now you get the iPhone view. You still have the fancy lights on, but it's like more real.
Thanks for joining. Again,
Love
love
you.
your friends. Hit me up.
That is all. So, bye.
Peace out.